Hi, Mikey. How you doing?
Good morning.
You do such a good Tim Cook. You really do. You do
Thank you. I
such
work
a
on it.
good team cook. Such a good Tim Cook. You really do.
Yeah, it's years of work.
I mean, yeah. Like, is that how you start your classes?
No, no, it's not. But
Sure. Yeah.
I do stand. I do stand in front of the mirror and say it repeatedly. I should. I should. That's an idea.
Right.
Wonder
Right.
if anyone
Right.
would get it.
How's your summer been?
Well, summer for us ended about a month ago, so it's been not summer. It's been very rainy over here
Mmm.
for the past month.
Rainy
Yeah.
season. Sure.
So and also, yeah, rainy season and work season. It's not. I want to stop working, Sawyer. I would. Can we make this podcast like a big thing? Can we make money out of this thing?
Like a. Well, here's the
I,
problem:
I would
is
like
that
to stop working. I love what I do. I love the work that I do.
yeah, but I think that's kind of the
Yeah.
problem of it is like you could turn this into a job, but then it would be a job and you'd have to work at it.
Nah, that's right.
Yeah, that's
That's right.
that's how they get you.
And that's how
You
they
know,
get you.
right? Like there was a brief moment where I was like, could I just be a wrestling writer? I could probably make money off
Hmm.
of this. You know, if I had really hustled, I could have.
Sure.
I could have been maybe in like David Shoemaker's position.
Right. You'd be in the podcast rotation with the Ringer Wrestling crew.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think I'm exaggerating by saying that could have been me if I'd really
Yeah.
dedicated myself to making that happen. It's possible. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's a
No.
guarantee, but like
Totally.
it's.
Yeah.
I think I was in the conversation at a point. Um,
No. Totally. I'm confirming what you're saying. Like, yes, absolutely.
but then I think, would I want my job to be that many hours of podcasting every week? Like I like to do an hour with you every 2 months.
Mm.
I don't think you can do that as a job.
Right. Right. Eh,
You know,
right now
like
it sounds like the dream, but I know what you're saying.
yeah, it's so I like so, but you're back to work.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm happy. I'm teaching classes I want to teach.
yeah,
My students are great.
yeah,
School's good,
yeah. It's the
but I just.
concept of labor for you that's
Hmm.
let's be done with this. Sure.
Yeah. Just can I just not have to? you know, can I
Okay,
just not have to? That's the thing.
so like mini topic, you last week said, "Can we talk about CM Punk on the podcast?"
All right, right. I forgot, but yes,
Yeah,
I did say this.
but you were just like, because like I want to talk about the iPhone and stuff, but like that feels like a meteor,
Mm-hmm.
like half an hour topic, and we could talk about CM Punk for like 5 minutes, I think.
Sure, sure.
So like he got into a backstage fight and got fired, and
Yes.
I've always thought about CM Punk that like he doesn't want to work.
Mm-hmm.
Like he'll go to work, but with the sole intent of coming home as soon as he can, and not and
Mm-hmm.
oh, like that. I think that's his whole thing. Is like I don't want to do the work,
Mm-hmm.
and I think to some degree, all you have to do to not work is to act more like CM Punk.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
but CM Punk is a person who doesn't have to work. Like
yeah. See,
he
this is
doesn't
the
have to work
problem.
to survive. See, so he goes to work because of ego or something. Not things I'm not dismissing. Like these are
Sure.
valid things.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
wants to work to whatever.
yeah,
He doesn't need to. Um, I need to. See,
yeah, yeah. I also need to
yeah,
work. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
this is the problem. We can't actually act like CM Punk.
No, we can't. That's the. I think one of the things. I guess one of the things I wanted to talk about the whole CM Punk thing was that a
Yeah,
lot of the people who are mad at him
yeah,
don't really want to admit that you know, they don't want to work. you know, so I
Yeah.
mean, no one wants to work. Like
I
that's not a thing that people want to do. They want to do the things and they
yes.
want to make the money, but to
Yes.
have to do it to make the money is not
I'd
a
rather not.
thing that people, yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Do I
Right?
have to? Okay, fine. But
So,
yeah.
right. Yeah. So not these a lot of these people don't really admit this to themselves. So then they look at punk
Yeah.
and in their denial of their own lives. Again, I'm not even dismissing that. Like I get it. I
Sure.
get it. Of course I would be mad at punk, you know? But I guess I just kind of recognize that. Nah, kind of get him. Like he's just he doesn't want to deal with this. He
In
doesn't want
it,
to deal
like
with it.
I gotta say, like in a vacuum, each individual thing that punk made news for in the last year, like by itself,
Mhm.
like if you
Right.
ignore the fact that it's clearly a larger pattern and he maybe needs to learn how to be at work better, um, but like each individual thing, I go, I get it.
I get it. Yeah.
I get, I get
I
why
mean,
you,
it's true.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
This is not to say that we think he's right,
no,
I mean, or that yeah,
no, I could
it's
disagree
just
with a person and understand where they're coming from.
right. Right. Right.
You know,
And
it's, it's as simple
yeah,
as that.
I messaged you. I messaged you about wanting CM Punk to be the topic before he was fired, but after the first reports on the Jungle Boy thing came out.
Yes.
So it was just the right when the first report came out, I was like, oh no, and I had this larger idea of reckoning with my fandom. Is it perhaps my fault that CM Punk is the way he is and
Mm-hmm.
that this keeps happening? But then after a few days, it's like, nah, I think yeah, it's exactly right. You were
Like,
saying like
probably
I
not your
get it,
fault.
and it's not my fault.
No.
I get him, but it's good that he was fired finally. But I mean, there
Yeah.
are also
Of, of course it was good
but
he was fired finally. That's,
of
yep.
course it was good.
Of course it was good.
Yeah,
You have
yeah.
to. You have to fire that
You have
person.
to. Somebody has to be a grown up.
I you
So
you have to keep reminding yourself this is Warner Brothers Discovery.
right. Okay.
Right? This is
Yeah.
right somewhere on the org chart connects
Mhm.
All Elite Wrestling with Warner Brothers Discovery.
Mhm.
Right? They're somewhere in there. And if you work for Warner Brothers Discovery, you can't act like this at work.
Right. I was gonna say, let's go further and say someone has to remember that these are grown ups,
Yes. Yes, actual
all
adults
doing these adults. They're
with
adults
like
here.
an HR department.
with with an HR department.
Yeah.
So maybe stop doing that and if maybe don't let other people do it.
Yeah.
I mean, if we want to be a wrestling podcast, we can talk about like, how AEW is problematic, etc., etc. But
Sure.
that's sure. But I really all I wanted to say
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
was this like
Yeah.
this exact thing that we're talking about. It's like
Yeah. Yeah,
you know,
I
and
understand. I wouldn't
Yeah.
do it myself, but I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I understand not wanting to work with Jack Perry.
Right.
Yeah. Sure.
Sure. Totally. Yeah. I mean, I would never choose to work with a Jack Perry if I could choose to.
Yeah,
The
see?
guy just called me out on TV, and
Who does that?
I was trying to help him.
Not a professional. Not a professional. Okay, last thing I'll say about the punk thing and we'll move on.
Mm-hmm.
I have more people in my life who don't like wrestling than like wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And to try to explain this story to them makes me sound completely insane. Because this is what the wrestling show is. Like that's the whole thing. Like that's
Yeah.
a storyline in wrestling. What happened?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Employee disgruntled and unhappy keeps causing fights at work.
Mhm.
That's a wrestling story.
And that's a wrestling story. And the boss was there, and he
Yeah.
almost hurt the boss.
Yeah,
Like
that's
that's
I'm you can't say that's what happened in real life in wrestling. And why that's not okay to do.
but it's wrestling.
Yeah, that's what they
Is
do
the
there.
response.
That's what they do there. Isn't that what they do?
My primary frustration that week was all the wrestling fans being so upset, acting as if wrestling wasn't wrestling.
Right.
Eh, and so it's also like, so this is like the other side of the spectrum of what you're talking about. So it's the wrestling people who are suddenly acting as if like, oh, Punk should have been fired,
Yeah.
that no one recognizes, no one chose to recognize. Let's be a little fairer. No one chose to, in their anger for Punk, no one chose to recognize that, it's wrestling. They were very, very, very morally, very righteously upset about it, which
Yeah.
I thought was hilarious. Which is not to say again that he was right, because of course he should. So
100%.
yeah, it's the
Yeah.
yeah. So this is it. That's all I wanted to say.
Good.
So
Yeah, we feel
thank you for this.
no problem. Give I'm happy to give oxygen to this concept.
Hmm.
It's like CM Punk is a very you chose poorly. He's on brand.
Yeah.
for,
Yep. Oh,
for this.
absolutely. Absolutely. Great product. Right?
Great product.
Great product.
Sometimes it comes out at the wrong time in the cycle.
Right. Sometimes it's just not the time for it. Then it comes back and it's the best thing.
So you were saying
Goes
about
away
the
again.
iPhone that like you're happy for me this year, but you don't care this year.
I am so well. Okay, that in itself is a nugget of a topic. But I
Okay.
want to say, let me go into that for a minute. I am
Okay.
so happy for you. By the
Oh,
way,
thank you.
Like, let's forget my disinterest as a fan. But like,
Yeah.
you are new phone, new watch guy. Look at you.
I'm new phone, new watch guy, new Apple things, new Apple headphones with headphone jack.
Wow.
Yeah,
Very
these showed
nice.
up first.
No. So the phone and the watch aren't there yet. Are they?
They're not there yet. No, I don't have them. No. I still have my old Series 5 watch with the Snoopy face, which is very
nice.
cute.
Very nice.
Yes.
Very nice.
I should have it on. Why don't I
Still
have it
very
on?
nice.
Yeah. It's still very nice. So I checked its battery health because you can check the Apple Watch battery health on the watch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's 63%.
Hmm.
Which
Well,
is
does
very
it still last all day, or?
no.
Oh.
No, it does not. No, it's a charging twice a day device now.
Oh my.
Yeah.
That makes it useless.
No,
Or
it's,
that can be a.
I think you underestimate how little I leave the house.
Ah. Okay.
So,
Fair point.
um,
So it could now be your sleeping watch. Like you
it could be.
just keep it.
It could be. I'm gonna give it to my dad when I get the new one.
Ah. Mm.
And I told him, I said,
Perfect.
look, this thing is 4 years old. It doesn't hold a battery charge very well, but feel free to mess around with it. And if you want to, if you like it but you need more battery life, go to the Apple store and give them $100 and they will put a fresh battery in there.
Mm.
Right?
That's right.
This is, I think, a lot of people with phones that are feeling sluggish and old. The answer is not to buy a new phone. The answer is to go to the Apple store, give them $100 for a battery. Because I think people don't
right.
realize, like, the battery affects the speed of the device.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and it doesn't make sense when you say that out loud. Like, why would the battery affect the speed? But, like, the battery is everything in an Apple device.
Yeah.
Right?
No, and the unspoken, like, the psychological toll of having a short battery life is just like, you don't even know
It's
how
true.
stressful it is until you no longer have the problem.
It's true. It's true. So, but my, exit interview Apple Watch Series 5 was a very, very good device that after 4 years, I'm like, yep, re-up. Time to get a new
Uh,
one.
so that's perfect because this is not what we plan to talk about. But exit interview, Apple Watch Series 5, call
Yeah,
back to season one. But so now that you've upgraded and the new
yeah.
one's coming, do you regret not using the always on display for 4 years?
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay,
Not at all.
interesting.
Yeah.
Because then it
Uh,
would have been 63% 2 years ago
yes, it would have
if you
died
did.
a lot faster. And honestly, maybe 2 years ago, I would have gone into Apple and been like, "Give me a new battery." Maybe that would have happened.
Mm, mm.
Um, the what was I gonna say? Um, no, the always on thing doesn't matter because I don't know what time it is, even when I'm looking directly at the watch. I don't. I don't
Is
psychologically.
it
I
a
don't
telling
know.
time thing?
I don't know what that's about. Like I will have the digital watch face, and it will tell me it's, 8:34, and I will look at the numbers
Oh,
8:34, and 5 seconds
uh-huh.
later, I will have no idea what time it is.
Interesting.
Like
That's so interesting.
for me, the Apple Watch is a very good fitness device and notification device and everything.
Hmm.
It can't tell time for shit, and that's a my
Apple
brain
Watch
thing.
is fine.
That's a my brain thing. Because if
Yeah,
you look at the time,
right.
like let's do a test here. Look at your watch.
Hmm.
What time is it on your watch?
It's 8:35.
8:35. Okay. So I'm going to talk about something entirely separate for now. And, like
Hmm.
I got a new microphone, got a new headphone jack. I'm really excited. What time is it?
It's 8:35.
Yeah,
So
see, this isn't a problem for you.
yeah, right. Interesting. This I've learned. This is like, hey, I've known you for years. This is a first time I'm hearing about this
Like
thing.
I'm
Is
I'm
this
not good at object permanence when it comes to the to clocks.
the clocks? The clock. It's so specific to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe the always on display would have helped with that,
Yeah, maybe because you
you
could
know.
then just pretend to not look but see it, and then
Like
remember.
and I remember when the Series 5 came out, the general agreement amongst like people on Twitter and stuff was like, you can have it on all the time, but like don't because it kills the battery.
Mm.
But did they kind of fix that later?
Well, I would say Series 7 owner. It's my second year.
Yeah,
I think they did. I didn't really
like
experience any problems with it.
like
Battery would last all day.
you don't notice that the battery lasts much longer if you turn the screen off.
I've never tried. It lasted about as long as my Series 4 did, and that did not have the always on display. Like I mean daily battery life. So I upgraded from the 4 to the 7,
Yeah,
and it's about the same, but the screen's always on. So
just to
no
just to
no, I did not notice.
just to compare that with, so they came out with the iPhone 14 Pro last year had an always on display, and a lot
Mm-hmm.
of reports of the over the last month about like battery health for the iPhone 14 Pro is like that battery is a lot worse off than iPhones normally are a year in,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting an iPhone 15 Pro Max, but I
I see.
might not keep that always on display on all the time.
Mm.
I might still treat it like my Series 5 Apple Watch.
So I was just fiddling about my phone because I just started to think about my phone more often because it's
Mm-hmm.
iPhone season.
It's iPhone season.
Um, uh, yeah, and I saw all the reports about a month ago, or they came out that the battery life or the battery health was for a lot of people was at 90%.
Mm-hmm.
Mine wasn't. Mine was at like 95, 94. So I thought,
And
normal,
what
I
is yours?
guess.
What's your
Uh,
phone?
iPhone 14 Pro. I got the last year phone.
You got last year was your Apple
Yeah.
Christmas. Yeah.
That was my Christmas, yeah.
Okay.
And I am sad to report that my battery life is now 91%.
What
So it
happened?
lost three my battery. I don't know. It
Was
could
it
be, I mean, could be the beta, it could be natural, it could be a
ah?
problem with the iPhone 14 Pro. I
It
mean,
could
it
be the
could be
beta.
any of those things.
Like
Yeah, it
the
could be. Could be.
betas eat batteries.
Yeah, yeah.
You
I
know.
wouldn't be surprised. And
Yeah.
I'm very happy with the beta, but I find myself now like the psychological toll, which is why I'm thinking about it more often for you, is because now I just realized I'm a little bit more stressed again,
Oh no.
as if I had the 10s Max that I did last year, like I have to charge in the middle of the day, sort of thing. And when the 14 Pro was new, when it was reviewed and everything, best battery life for a pro device. The 14 Plus was better,
Yeah.
but the pros were supposed to be pretty good. And my first month was so much better than my 10s Max. And then I just stopped paying attention because you're out of iPhone season and life goes back. You come back to real life, and
Sure.
now it's iPhone season again, and it's like, wait a minute, like my phone is not lasting me,
Oh no.
beyond a work day.
So
So
I have
and
to ask, do you keep
yeah,
keep
sure,
the screen on all the time?
yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah,
Will
I
you be
like it
stopping
now.
that? Oh no, the
No,
feature's
I will
gotten to
not.
you. Okay.
Yes, it's gotten to me. I like it. I
Mm.
do like it. Like I forget what it's called. The one that the live update thing. Let's say you have a delivery coming and it just updates you, or
Yeah.
or an Uber or something. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So, well, I don't love it, but I really like it. So I'm just gonna live with a bad battery life until I have a new iPhone. I have, like, before you called, I was looking at like the tips how to extend your battery life, which I only started doing for the 10s Max last year, and now I'm doing it 1 year in,
Uh
which
oh.
whatever. It's not even if it's it's not like I'm gonna buy a new phone. It's just not my year.
I,
So
I was gonna say though, is it the battery health number that's doing it to you, or are you noticing it actually lasting less long?
I it could be that it was not lasting long at all, but I'm only paying attention now after I saw the battery health.
Okay.
I don't know,
Yeah.
because it's iPhone season that made me think about it, you know.
Right.
But because I would just like mindlessly charge if I would notice it was 60% and it was like lunchtime.
Yeah.
You know, I would just charge and then stop charging because USB-C is fast enough that I don't have to think about it. Fast charging is fast enough that I don't have to
Yeah.
think about it. Yeah. So, but just thinking about it now, I was like, wait a minute, it doesn't last all day. You know, so I turn on Waze, Spotify, or Overcast to work. I get
Yeah.
to work and it's 89%,
Yeah.
30-minute drive. That's a lot.
Ooh.
That's a lot. I think it's a lot. I don't think it should be that way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. And I'm not upset about it. I think what I want to go into, if we're gonna talk about iPhone season,
Yeah.
um, aside from your phones, is me being the guy out of season, is I realize that the worst iPhone season is the one after your iPhone season. Like, it's the most emotionally taxing season for people like me,
Tell me
who are
why.
not people like Mike Hurley. You know, Mike Hurley can upgrade his phone every year for no reason, like just because,
Needs
you
it
know.
for work.
But he he needs it for work,
Needs it for
you
work.
know. Okay, so yes, he does.
Oops.
And normal people don't, right?
No, of
And
course not.
it, and it's Apple. You expect Apple to be Apple and to market the new phone all over the place, right?
Hmm.
But it's everybody else though that we pay attention to, and you see, like, say the Grubers or the
Sure.
ATP folks, or
Yeah.
all of them are explaining why this latest phone is like the best phone.
Sure.
And not enough people are, and everybody says if you just came from last year, don't upgrade, right? But the fine print of their reviews and everything all talk about how much better the new phone is, all but for acting as if they're Apple.
Yeah.
Apple has now removed the 14 Pro and the 14 from the lineup completely, like it's gone,
Yeah,
right?
isn't that interesting? I didn't realize that until recently that like they keep the year-old phones around and sometimes they even keep like 2 or 3-year-old phones around, but it's never
Yeah,
the pro models.
never the Pro,
Yeah.
never the Pro. So
They
you're
only
right.
keep the
Sorry,
lower end
correct.
ones around, right? Like,
Yeah. So 14 still there, 13 still there.
yeah, but not the
Yeah, and
mini, not the
13,
third
14,
like the 13
not the
mini is
mini.
gone, just the regular 13
Yeah,
remains.
yeah. Rest in peace,
Weird.
mini. Like,
Yeah, so it's not
weird.
necessarily the cheapest phone they had that year.
No,
It's just the regular
no,
one remains.
the regular one. And it's strange because the previous year, it's the pro people who were the most important people in the Apple world.
Hmm.
And now we don't exist anymore, is what it feels like. Because we identify with our phones, obviously,
Sure.
and since we do, I no longer exist, Sawyer. See, but you do. So
Well,
I'm
I do for a few months anyway.
right, right. Or you will. You don't yet.
Yes. Yes, I don't yet.
You don't yet.
Yes.
You don't yet, but you will, and it'll last maybe 10 months.
Yeah.
And you're getting the Pro Max.
Yeah.
So like
I've never had like a top tier iPhone before. This is my first ever top tier iPhone.
that's the
Like,
big boy. That's the
I've
big
never
boy.
had a phone with ProMotion. I've never had a phone with 120 hertz. I've never had a phone with
Mm,
three cameras. In fact, like my phone, the iPhone 10R, still just
mm,
has the one camera.
mm-hmm.
You know, it does have a
That's a
color,
nice phone,
though.
right?
I
A
will
real
say
color.
this is a real. That's a real color. Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
real color.
it's a real
That's
color.
nice.
I've kept it in very good condition.
Mm,
So I'm
very
actually I'm giving it back to Apple for money on Friday.
nice.
Yeah. So the
Money is
iPhone
good.
10R was still worth enough money for me to go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll do the trade in. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Um.
great.
I
Yeah.
the Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to having like the best phone for the first time. I've never had. I wanted to ask you what it's like to have the best phone for a while.
Are we talking like the category the best one, or specifically the 14 Pro?
The 14 Pro, like for the last 12 months, that was the best phone.
Right. Uh, so that's two things really. There's two answers to that. The first is like having the best phone, like period, in any year feels good.
Yeah,
Just because you want to feel like you didn't you want to like protect yourself from buyer's remorse. So you want to reinforce, like put all of these shields around you
yeah.
by having the best phone and have every all the reviews say you had the best phone. So it feels pretty nice. Now the features, the phone itself though, I really like it. I
Mm,
came from the big boy of the 10s generation, so the 10s Max. So
yeah.
my phone became smaller, which only my hand enjoys, but the rest of me does not. Part of me wishes that I had the 10s, the 14 Pro Max instead.
Sorry, I'm kind of giggling at that.
Um, yeah, but but I had we have the mini. See, so I thought it didn't make sense for me to get the Pro Max. If I could go back, I would have gotten the Pro Max instead.
Mm,
I think just because like things like promotion, which I was super excited about, I don't think I really get to enjoy because of the screens. Because if I do big screen things, I would not use my phone. I
right.
would use my iPad, I'd use my Mac, I'd use the TV.
Yeah.
But because it's smaller than my 10s Max. I would just use my iPad, and the iPad is you would know, very much not an OLED promotion display.
No.
Just a regular old like LCD,
Yeah.
which is fine.
It's
Fine.
fine. Yeah.
Um, so I feel like promotion's a little wasted on the screen size. So I think you made the right Mikey choice of getting the Pro Max. Because I would forget that it had promotion unless I'd play Pokemon Go once a month, and then Pokemon Go would have really smooth like animations. It'd be like, oh right, promotion,
Right.
and then even the scrolling on Safari or Twitter or whatever, like because that's how it is marketed the first time. The
Yeah.
scrolling is super smooth.
Yeah.
But but as a person who scrolls on multiple devices, it's not like I scroll on my phone and then when I switch to my iPad, I start throwing up about how bad it is. I
I
barely
wanted to
notice it.
ask you about that though.
Right.
But so you're saying it doesn't ruin other devices?
Well, my phone doesn't ruin other devices. Yours might.
Oh no. Oh
Yours
no.
might, because I play with the every time I look at the larger, like a 14 Pro Max, like a
Yeah.
student I'm looking over a shoulder and a student's looking at their stuff on the Pro Max. Like I can see it. It's super clear and super cool, and I kind of wish my thing had it, except I got this and it fits my hand better and pockets better and it's
Yeah.
cheaper, so whatever.
Yeah.
But the Pro Max, I can tell clearly, like from afar, like, oh, that's nice. That you can Like that's a nice display,
Sure.
Whereas mine is a nice display, but you kind of have to like pay more attention to how nice the 14 Pro is. So you're gonna feel the upgrade, and I feel like what I want to ask you in a month is how you feel about your iPad Mini
So
after.
this has been on my mind, which is the. Do you remember that Radio Shack meme where it was like the
Mm,
it was like a flyer from Radio Shack from the late '80s, and it had like 50 things that you could buy from Radio Shack, and the meme
right,
was
right,
that
and now
like
it's a phone.
your iPhone does
Yeah,
all of these things,
right,
and I've
right.
for the longest time I've lived kind of a multi-device lifestyle. I have a dedicated camera,
Mm,
I have a dedicated e-reader, I have dedicated video game consoles. I've never been the type of person to just do everything on my phone. But I am wondering if this is the phone where that happens to me, right? Where
Well,
if it becomes like the ProMotion and the 120 hertz display and the OLED, if that makes it the best reading device, and if the
mhm,
camera on it makes it the best camera, and if the gaming processing on it all of a sudden makes it the best console, if all of
mhm,
those things jump up to a level where now it's actually like the the best device in every class that I care about.
mhm.
Do I? And I don't know why I'm trepidatious about that. In some ways, isn't
No,
that good? But
yeah,
I've never
no, I
been
get it.
that. I've never been that person to just put it all into one thing.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. No, I think it's great that you're saying this. I think this is why we have this podcast because I understand, and I think it might like I feel like tech media people whose work it is to do this stuff. I
Right.
think they won't understand. Like
Right.
they have thoughts about it, but I don't think they'll be anxious the
Mm.
way you and I would be. Because like I make major financial decisions because of that anxiety. I chose the Pro and not the Pro Max because I still love my Mini. Like I have some
Wow.
attachment to this
Yeah.
size. You know
I
what I
gotta say,
mean?
no. The Mini is
Which
my favorite Apple device. Like, it's gonna take a lot for the iPhone to beat the iPad Mini in terms of like
right.
belovedness, like just how good
Yeah.
it feels. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
the especially, and it's weird too because the iPhone. Sorry, this is a bit of a bit of a commercial
Oh
break from
no.
that, but the
Not a
iPhone is
tangent.
also like the iPhone's is like the most important product in the Apple lineup, but it's
Mhm.
also like the least exciting. It's the least. It's the tool that you need that you just need an iPhone and
Yeah.
it's in your pocket, but like the space for fondness is more occupied, I think, by the Apple Watch, by the iPad,
Yeah.
certainly, and after the Apple Silicon thing, now the Mac, all of a sudden, which I'm happy about. But
Right.
the iPhone, it just seems like the best thing that you need that you don't have to think about. But this 15 Pro specifically with the triple A. Did you see the? Of course you did. You saw the thing with the ray tracing and the reports from the folks plugging it to a TV and using a dual sense controller.
Yeah.
Just like that's not a concept any of us had about the phone.
No.
So no, so and like speaking from like my experience of not having the Pro Max and finding myself kind of wishing I had the Pro Max, but also glad because of the iPad Mini that I don't have a Pro Max. I am a little anxious for you, my friend.
Oh no.
Like, oh,
Yeah. Well,
sorry, but
no, I
I'm,
get it. I get it. I get it.
yeah,
I mean, I've felt this way about the iPhone 10R, which was
mm,
this is this lasted me longer than any other phone I've ever owned, right? It succeeded in a lot of ways, but I don't know that
hmm
I was ever incredibly fond of it. Like when I
right,
look at this device, I'm not filled with the same nostalgic exuberance that I even think of
mm,
like for an iPod, you know?
hmm
Right? Like there is something emotionally more distant with an iPhone.
Right.
So
Yeah.
so I wonder what's going to happen with this one. This is, this is the like I'm getting the phone in like 2 days. So this feeling will not
Woo.
last very long. But I think it's
Yeah,
an
of course.
interesting feeling to sit in for a minute, which is like, is everything I do about to just be on this thing?
Hmm.
Because it's will now be the best computer I own in
Yeah.
in every category.
Which sounds like it's supposed to be a good thing.
It sounds like it should
But
be a good thing. It does. It
yeah.
does. And for a lot of people, like I'm old news. For a lot of people, their
Hmm.
iPhone is their main computer and they do everything on it.
Right.
Right? Right?
Yeah, yeah.
That already happened to a ton of people. But it's just never
Hmm.
happened to me. So,
I
um,
I don't know that it's happened to as many people as they say it's happened to, though. Like, it
mm,
could just be that they love the iPhone.
mm,
Like I mean, it's a subjective thing for them that they just love it. Also, because the iPhone is just so freaking expensive, So
oh my
there
god,
are
was it ever?
right, like when yeah, right, like it's like I I was thinking about it. I spent because I got my Mac on an education discount. I spent
Mhm.
more on my phone than on my Mac, on my Macintosh, which I love, which I need for
Yeah,
work and life.
yeah,
Like my phone, which is a phone, fits
yeah.
in your pocket. It's cost more. It's ridiculous. But I also think it's that, like, because it's so expensive, like people like make themselves love it, which is not a thing. I'm not dismissing it as like a false or invalid thing. It's absolutely a real
Sure.
thing. I do it,
Yeah.
just not as much for the phone as I do for the iPad or for the watch or something.
Well,
Like,
last year I did the math and I was like, it would cost me less to buy a full camera and an iPad mini. And it did. Like my iPad mini and my Canon M50 cost less than your iPhone 14 Pro last year.
right,
And I
right,
got a ton of joy out of those two products. But there's a part of me
right.
that goes like, am I about to stop using these products?
Well, see, it's a little trickier for you too because you have the camera, right? So that's a major part of your life.
Sure.
I remember telling you when I finally got the 14 Pro, I said, "Hey, so I bought a camera."
Yeah.
This is what I said.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, oh, really? Tell me about it. I said, "This is the iPhone. It's called the iPhone 14 Pro," is what I said. And that's like that's already like what it is in my life. So
Yeah.
you like have all of these changes lined up.
Yeah.
It seems, and I think this demands that we follow up on this at a later episode.
I
So
think
it's
no, no.
it's
We
it's
we
like
need to do like a sequel in 2 months.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, in 2 months because we're laying out exactly what we're coming back to because
Yeah.
we're not just. I mean, you know what? It's gonna be great. It's gonna be like an amazing phone
I'm sure it
and
will.
more.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah,
I'm sure it will.
yeah.
I have two very you chose poorly things to end this off
Hmm.
about the iPhone
Hmm.
15. So the first one is the headphone jack, of which the iPhone 15 does not have, obviously, because even though the
Hmm.
phone is the size of a boat, it doesn't have a headphone jack. But neither does the iPad mini. It's fine, whatever.
Hmm.
But they
Hmm.
do have a headphone jack because it's a USB C phone now. And you can buy, and Apple
Hmm.
will now sell you a pair of these, like the regular
Hmm.
Apple headphones, with a USB C end on them. So you
Hmm.
can just plug regular wired headphones that have a USB C port into your iPhone, and those will now also work with your iPad and your MacBook. So they now finally have a basic set of wired headphones that work with all three of their devices.
All of them. Yeah.
Right?
Right.
It took a while
Hmm. Hmm.
because they sold
It took very long.
because they used to sell these with a lightning port at the
Hmm.
end for the iPhone, but that wouldn't work with the iPad or the MacBook.
Than anything else.
Right?
No.
But that's if you're an
Right.
Apple person, that's been an annoyance for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Like I
Well,
guess the answer
if
is you buy
you're
AirPods. But
right.
yeah.
I mean, if you are an Apple person, you would have bought AirPods like in 2000. 10,
and I did, and
2015 or whenever
you
it
know
was.
I own AirPods. I love AirPods, but
Mhm.
I find with my because I'm in both worlds because I have a Windows PC. AirPods
Right.
work with the Windows PC, but it works about as well as any other Bluetooth device, which is
Hmm.
which
Yeah.
is like sometimes, like when it feels like it works.
Right.
You know, um, so hence that's why I bought these because I needed a new pair of headphones for the computer. These are my computer headphones. You
Very
know,
nice.
I guess. I just thought it was kind of funny that I bought these with a headphone jack at the exact same time as I bought the iPhone 15 Pro Max.
Right.
So, but the
I
headphone jack.
forgot. I forgot. I forgot about which group of people to whom this would matter. So I forget that you're one of them. Like,
What
oh
a,
right, okay, of course.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But the headphone jack thing made me think about the iPod Shuffle, which they brought up in the keynote when they were talking about environmental stuff. They were like, "What about the iPod Shuffle?" And I was like, "Yeah, what about the iPod Shuffle? Wait a minute. The iPod Shuffle I owned charged, like, got power from, and did a data transfer from the headphone jack." Right?
You're right.
The iPod Shuffle third and fourth generation plugged into your
Mm-hmm.
computer with the headphone jack,
Right.
which means
Right.
that Apple knew how to do this with the headphone jack in 2009.
Right.
And I can't help but think when they like moved from the 30 pin connector to Lightning, couldn't they have just used the headphone jack?
Because they got rid of the headphone jack in
But what but they
with the
could have
iPhone
gotten
7,
rid of the
right?
30 pin connector and just kept the headphone jack for power and data transfer.
How long did it take for you to sync your iPod Shuffle?
I don't remember.
But you know what? Yeah, you're right. I guess yes, power and data transfer totally could have worked with the headphone jack.
I hate to tell you this, but transferring
And
anything over Lightning was dog slow too.
that's true. That's true.
Right?
That's
One of the
it
reasons I got the
remains
Pro
true.
Max, one of the reasons I got the Pro Max over the regular iPhone was because of the USB 3 speeds for
Hmm.
transfer, right? Because that's a huge difference.
Which I think you'll have to buy a cable
Yes,
for.
I'll have to
But
buy it. Yeah, fine.
yeah.
But the my point is it's faster. I but
Right.
if the problem but what I need like a real Apple person to tell me why
Okay.
they didn't just use the headphone jack because clearly they had the ability to,
Hmm.
right? I maybe they found some wattage ceiling that they couldn't do with the headphone jack. But like
Hmm.
but you had it. You had a working product that used one port for
Hmm.
music, power, and data, and it was a port everybody had stuff for.
Hmm.
And I feel insane thinking like you guys spent 15 years or so. I don't know how long it's been since 2009, but you guys spent that long figuring out how to do like headphones with USB-C when you could have just used the headphone jack this whole time for everything.
Well, yeah, and these are the same people who when they had the first iPhone had a headphone jack,
Of
but could
course.
only work with their headphones and no one else's unless you bought an adapter
That's right.
because it was recessed
The first
deep
iPhone
into
was
the
bad
iPhone.
for that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe they just had it out for the headphone jack. Like they just didn't like it.
I think that has to be it. That has to be the main reason why they didn't do, because they clearly had the ability to. And
Hmm.
I've never seen any other device power from the headphone jack, but the iPod Shuffle definitely did.
Right. There's the only one.
It was
Didn't
the
even
only
occur to me
one.
until you mentioned it. It's
Yeah,
true.
it was the only one. but it definitely did work.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree, maybe it was slow, but Lightning was slow too. And like after a few years, you stopped plugging your iPhone into your computer anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Only perverts like me ever plug their iPhone into their computer. so so it stopped mattering anyway. They could have just kept the headphone jack. That would have been courage to be like,
That would have been courage, right?
we know it's a little slower of a data transfer, but you still just need the headphone jack. That would have been courage.
So in the announcement where Phil says the whole courage thing, show notes, but the courage thing, if the announcement should have been, we are removing the iPod port completely.
Completely. We just need the headphone jack.
We're just keeping the headphone jack.
Yes, they could have done that.
That's it.
They could have done
That's
that.
the one. That's the one.
So that
You know
there's
what?
that. Yeah.
You know what? Screw Apple. I'm done.
Not buying their stuff anymore.
No more. I'm done. Forget it.
And then the other one, which is the most you chose poorly thing ever, is I'm looking at the iPhones and I'm like, well, I need to buy a case for this thing.
Right.
Right, I need to buy a case. And they have a brand new kind of case. I'm like, I'm in the mood for new stuff. Let's do it. Let's get their new Finewoven leather replacement case. And yesterday, I got a notification that the case is ready for pickup. I can go pick the case up early because this always happens, right?
Oh,
you can
so
always.
you did.
Yeah, so
buy it.
I did.
Okay.
I bought it at the same time that I bought the phone. I bought the phone, I bought the case, and I bought these headphones with a headphone jack, right? And
Right.
the case was ready early, and I haven't picked it up yet because I'll just pick it up at the same time that I pick up the phone. But just after I got the email that said the case was ready, The Verge published
The Verge.
an article reviewing the case,
Right.
saying how fucking bad it is.
So you sent me the link to the Verge article, and I didn't open it, but I just said, "Oh, that's so sad." I did not know that you ordered one.
Yeah.
And then I kept it in my reading list. Or I opened it, but I hadn't read it yet. And then like while I was washing dishes or something, I opened up YouTube on my phone, and the first thing that came out was some random tech content creator talking about how bad it was, and then linking to like a bunch of others. So it's not just like Nilay Patel being persnickety. It's like a lot of people. Who are.
Allison Johnson at The Verge says the new Finewoven phone cases are very bad. And
I'm so sorry.
I have an email saying your new Finewoven phone case is ready for pickup.
Oh, you chose poorly. Perfect.
You'd think after years of this show, we've grown, we've matured, we've learned things. And here I am.
Apple makes this case with this new material that did not previously exist.
I'm trying to be good for the environment here.
Like no Finewoven case has ever been made before, and Apple makes one, and you say, "I'm gonna buy it."
Sure, let's give it a shot.
Buy it right now.
Yeah, sight unseen.
Oh, I love it.
I watched the
I'm
keynote.
sorry.
I watched the keynote. I'm like, I'm sold by this. And I kind of here's the thing. A couple months ago, I bought a new couch, and it's an amazing couch. And I don't know if you've ever gone like couch shopping, where they give you like the stack of materials that they're gonna make the couch cushions out of, right? They're like, go feel all the fabrics. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, I've heard of this Finewoven kind of thing. This is similar to really nice couch material, right? And so I was like, okay, well, that's not bad. That'll probably feel really good. No, apparently terrible. And the worst thing is, apparently it makes the phone easier to drop.
Yeah.
Like the grip is worse on the case than the phone itself.
well, that's because the titanium probably feels nice or something. But
Yeah.
so stuff like that, like I'm skeptical of like people want to be angry about new things. So this is the perfect thing to like pounce on.
Yeah.
I think the thing that is the most upsetting about what's bad about the fine woven stuff is that how easily like it does not look good as it ages.
Yeah.
Like damage doesn't give it character; it just makes it look bad, and I think
Yeah.
that's the saddest part.
It is. That
That's
sucks.
the that sucks. Like
Yeah.
oh no,
Yeah.
because I'm very like I'm one of the things I'm glad about like sorry environment is that like oh like selfishly sorry so we didn't get into this too much because it's I think it's for another time but because it's more exciting to talk about your new stuff than my not having any new stuff
Whatever.
but one of my things is that like I want to like when if you just come from the previous year and you're not gonna buy this year, you kind of want the new year to not be good,
Right.
just to feel better about your purchase.
Of
And
course.
this fine woven thing, like I can't dive in completely because you just bought it and I feel bad for you and that sucks. I'm sorry,
No, that just the case though.
but
The phone's
I
going to be great, I'm sure.
sure
Like
yeah
the phone
totally.
is reviewing very
Um,
well.
Yeah, yeah, and that's sorry. Just for more people like me, I would like to send you this link of
Okay.
from Lauren Good of Wired
Okay.
reviewing the iPhone 15, and there's a couple lines there where she says that the 14 Pro is a better phone in some ways. She says she
Then
doesn't
the
really explain why.
then the regular
But
iPhone 15.
then the 15 Pro, she
Oh
says.
dear.
Oh dear. But I
Well,
mean, like
what
it's one
color
of those reviews who are
what
not
color did you
from
get?
the people who are super. I got the black one.
Oh, okay. So you didn't get like a fun color.
Not because I wanted like a year in. I now wish I got the fun color. I was
Yeah.
thinking I want the phone that I will not get sick of in 2 years.
Sure.
But it's been a year, and I now wish that it was purple. Just because it's like, I like the fun. I'm realizing that the fun color thing Apple does is they'll make one fun color
Yeah.
and then never make it again.
That's right.
And I think that's a cool thing that they do. And I realized the pattern too late. Like, see, that's really nice.
I never got
Like
sick of this blue. This is a good blue.
Yeah, that's a really good blue. Like I
Yeah.
get it, and that's part of my buyer's remorse. I should have gotten the purple one. But
Right.
as I was saying, the Lauren Good, she says this thing about the 14 Pro. She like clearly there's media who are very excited about phones because they love phones, and then there's media who kind of resent the fact that they have to review a new phone every year.
Yeah.
And she's one of them. And this year, I love people like her. And last year, I love people like everybody else. See,
So true.
but she says this. So anyway, my point was that I got the leather case, and I love the leather case. Like I love it, even if
Mm.
it's not as good as the leather cases used to be with the
Mm-hmm.
10R, 10S. I think the leather cases back then were better.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just, I just really appreciate how like it's all messed up and scratched up. My phone is pristine, but the case is all like it's all beaten up, and I
Yeah.
really like it. Like
Yeah.
I like how it is, and it's unfortunate that it seems like that's not gonna happen at all with the fine woven ones. Makes me wonder about the straps too, the bands. Like that would suck if the
It would
bands look
suck.
ugly after a few months.
That would
Like
suck. Yeah. Yeah. Although I mean, like sport loop supremacy, right? Like this is the one
that's really
true.
nice.
This is the one
Yeah.
true Apple Watch strap. Like, isn't that what you're wearing too? Oh no,
Mm.
you've got the this the you have the actual sport loop. What do I have? What are these
No,
called?
no, this is the I forget what this is called. The woven, the band, the one that you send that has sizes. Yours is a
Right.
sport blue. That's the Pride one, right? We both have the Pride ones,
Yeah, we both
but
got the
that's the
Pride
other
one.
one I was considering.
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one, the stretchy one.
No, this is not stretchy. It's
The
just
nice stretchy.
Velcro.
Oh,
Like
it's
it.
not stretchy.
Yeah. No, it's not stretchy. It's just one. Like it's just a nice fabric material.
Yeah, I have a black one of those, and it was stretchy. Maybe they switched it up.
Mm.
Mm. But see, like, there up until then, like, I don't think anyone complained about the quality of any Apple band. But
Right.
like, I'm curious now about the fine woven Apple band. Like, if
Yeah.
any of our like 2 listeners ends up owning one, please let us know. be great.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's I think that about covers it for me. Um, I was thinking about buying a PS5, but now I don't need to because I have an iPhone.
You don't need to.
No,
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna have 4 AAA games,
that's
so that's
right.
great. Yeah.
That's all the PlayStation gets
Nice.
every year.
Well, that's true. It's you're not kidding. It's true.
No.
Like I'm playing Ghosts of Tsushima right
Yeah.
now, which is a PS4 game,
Yeah.
which I love. I'm really enjoying it. But so
Yeah.
yeah, so until Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 2 is gonna be my first real PS5 game. If I even get it when it launches, like I can wait. I'm older now.
Sure.
Like I can wait. It can go on sale. I'm gonna get it one day.
Do you
The
you so
so
you have a PlayStation 5?
yeah. I got one in April.
Can I ask you, because I don't have a PlayStation 5,
Sure.
and everyone
Mm.
who I know who either has one or is in the PlayStation world is like still on the
Mm.
PlayStation 4 and is like they're still coming
Mm.
out with games for this.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're still doing that thing where like all PS5 games are still PS4 games. That's
Oh, so
wild. That's incredible support for the PS4, and like it
yeah.
makes me wonder like is the PS5 worth it at all?
Okay, so I came from the PS4 before the Pro, but
Okay.
I think that was aging. Like I could feel
Oh,
the
okay.
age of that one. Like the hardware, like things were going wrong. The controllers were falling apart. The buttons were falling apart.
Oh,
It
okay.
was still working, but if I had the PS4 Pro, I don't think I would have upgraded to the 5, at least like this year,
Right.
because as you said, all the games are coming out. It's 4K HDR. Like so I had this my situation was I got the Pro. I had the PS4, and then my I upgraded my TV.
Yeah.
And then I thought, okay, now because the PS4 was not 4K and HDR or whatever, but the Pro would have been.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking if I'm gonna upgrade, I might as well get the PS5. So I don't know. Like console questions are weird, especially for PlayStations and Xboxes and Nintendo consoles. Because like our generation kind of just assumes we have to have a console. So it felt like it just so happened that it was the PS5 for me
Yeah.
this year. Like
Yeah.
it's like the iPhone. It's a boring question. It's like gaming is part of my life.
Right.
It's just gonna be in my life, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna have at least one of the devices.
Yeah.
And
Until you
so I
put your
don't.
controller up on the wall and you say I'm done, you
Mm-hmm.
do have to get the things. Yeah. But it for me it was
Yeah.
like and I probably feel like with Xbox it's even worse than PlayStation because the idea if you're an Xbox person, you're a Game Pass person. And like do you even need the new
Right.
Xbox if you're a Game Pass person? You
Right.
know?
Right.
Like
Right.
doesn't everything still work on the last Xbox? You know?
Yeah.
I might not know the answer to that perfectly, but like yeah, like again, you're right. I'm probably unfairly comparing like the new Xboxes and PlayStations to the like original ones from like 2013, but like both of them got like a
Right.
halfway point upgrade.
Yes, they did.
They
Yeah,
got
it was
like a
weird. It was
point
weird.
5, you know?
Yeah,
Right?
I didn't know what to do with that. That was
they,
weird. That was a
they got
weird time.
they got a new 3DS XL,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Right. That's basically what happened.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and it was yeah, and then the PS5 came out, and then nobody could buy it for like 2 years.
Right.
And it just so happened that this year it became available, and then as it became available, everybody said there was going to be a price hike.
Right.
So that's when I decided to get it, and
Go yeah.
I felt good about it because
Good.
it did become more expensive. But like as a console, like if I review it, it's a nice console
Yeah.
with good. I don't know what else to say. I don't know
Yeah.
what worth it might mean.
Right. Right.
If so I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
But if I had the PS4 Pro, I would probably be just as happy. Maybe
Yeah.
it's hard to tell. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one right now, and even harder maybe now. We'll see, but like, the new iPhone can play the new Resident Evil games. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's wild.
That's
Like
that's
I think
wild.
yeah, it's potentially a really big deal.
Like
Like in our worlds.
even last year, the idea was, oh, your
Mm.
iPhone can play console games, but they have to be like
Mhm. Mhm.
heavily ported and heavily worked on and minimized and
Mhm.
right. It's like that old home console versus Game Boy situation, right? Like the iPhone was still kind of the
Right.
Game Boy of like
Right.
games have to be like brought down to the level of the iPhone.
Oh
But
yeah.
then they were
Yeah.
just like that Resident Evil game that launched 6 months ago. It runs on the iPhone now.
Yeah.
Whoo, with ray
Yeah.
tracing and
And
stuff. Like,
with ray tracing and stuff.
wow,
Yeah.
that's nuts.
Yeah. No, and it's like you don't like the iPhone's not supposed to be in that category. Like
No,
you would expect like the Mac to do it or the iPad to do it,
maybe
because
yeah,
like the
maybe the
phone,
iPad.
maybe the iPad, right? Like an M1, like or M2, M3 that can do something amazing. And then
Yeah,
you think of that, like your brain accepts that as like, okay, that can do that.
yeah,
It's now but the iPhone, which everybody's gonna have,
yes,
like everybody's gonna have it.
yes,
So that could be huge. I don't know. I mean huge not in a technical game review or hyperbole way, but
yeah,
actually like change things,
yeah.
you know? So
And like you
but I
said, like
mean,
it's not just here. You like plug it into an HDMI thing from USB C,
mhm.
and it just works on
Mhm.
your television with a game controller.
Mhm. Yep.
Ugh, that's
Wa- Wacky.
oh man.
Wacky. Yeah. I mean, those things are cheap. I have two of those here, like those 4K,
Yeah,
4K 60 hertz USB-C HDMI cables. You just get them on Amazon for $10,
yeah,
and you have a console. That's wild.
yes.
So I think they're underselling it. I think things are gonna change. But you know what? We're gonna know when you have it. Because you and I are skeptical of the world. The world is weird,
The world is
but
weird.
like I want to know. I mean, the selection now is what Resident Evil, Stranding. Uh, what are the two
Did
other
they say that
games?
Death Stranding is coming to the iPhone?
Didn't they? Did I miss it? Did
I
I
know
did
they
I
said it was
read
coming
it
to the
wrong?
Mac.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
I guess I'm making I'm connecting dots here.
yeah. They mentioned at
Because
WWDC when they
why
talked about
wouldn't
the
it?
yeah they when they talked about like the Mac Studio, they were like, we're gonna have Death Stranding soon, and I'm like, well, that makes sense. The Mac Studio is the $3,000 gaming PC.
Right, right, right. But if your iPhone can run Resident Evil, like you know,
Yeah,
it's that's a PS4 in your pocket. PS4
that's a
Pro.
that's. I mean, isn't Resident Evil 4 like? Didn't it come out this winter? Like 8 months ago?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a
8 months ago.
PS5
And
game, right?
also, actually, that's a PS5 in your pocket because that
Yeah,
has ray tracing, and I don't even think the PS5 has ray tracing on Resident Evil. I don't even
yeah.
think it does.
I don't know
Like the
that my
PC version does.
I don't know that my gaming PC has good ray tracing. It has like ray tracing. it
Ray
has like
tracing.
it has like one ray of tracing. It's you know,
Yeah, it's still ray tracing if it's one
yeah,
ray.
yeah.
It's not rays tracing.
That's right.
So now in your list, it's your iPad, your Kindle, your camera, and now your gaming PC that could potentially be like made obsolete by the thing that's coming in 2 days,
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like maybe.
or less liked. Maybe not obsolete,
Yeah. I
but
mean, like is the PC saving grace the fact the iPhone still doesn't run Photoshop? Like, is that it?
I mean it kind of does. Plug a mouse there and plug it to your TV or a monitor, and
Uh-huh.
maybe you could do some Photoshop.
Like I don't think we could do this on the iPhone, right? I don't think we could record a podcast on the iPhone.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't
However,
think
I
so.
could
Well,
plug this I could
no,
plug this microphone into the iPhone, like a Blue Yeti USB mic will plug into
we
the
could
iPhone.
on the Anchor app, on the Spotify for Podcasts app. We
Yeah,
could
you
record
yeah,
a podcast.
you could use it. Yeah. I saw that Camo, the app that you can use your phone as a webcam, it launched a streaming app for iPad like last week.
Hmm.
Because of, and there's just a family of USB-C accessories that work with that. So, like that could be big.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I love that in 2023, our podcast, You Chose Poorly, is about the iPhone and how.
And how it might
and-
be kind of disruptive.
this iPhone 15 Pro that you speak of could disrupt
Yeah,
all of these other categories
it
and
might.
industries.
We need a new Radio
Wow.
Shack ad.
Like that's your show.
Yeah.
This is what we're talking about.
Yeah. What about the iPod Shuffle, Mikey? What's going to happen to it?
Yeah. Even the iPod Shuffle says Mother Nature.
That's right. All right, Mikey, thank you. I got to get going, but thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Where are you
Yeah,
now? Are
thank
you still on
thank
the
you.
X?
On yeah. I guess I am. Like
I have
wrestling
to
players on
say
the
it like a
X.
grandma. The X.
Mm-hmm. It's the only way to not make it sound douchey.
Are you on
The
Blue
X.
Are you on Blue Sky yet?
No, no, no. Isn't it Blueski? I'm confused. I hear it's Blueski or Blue Sky, but Blueski, like Brewski, is the joke, isn't it?
This is the first I'm hearing of it.
Well, I'm on neither Blueski nor Blue Sky.
I have a
But
Blue
I am on
Sky.
Threads.
I have a Blue Sky or a Blue Ski up invite code if you'd like one. But yes,
Oh, sure.
I will put links to our threads in the show
and
notes.
I have to send you some links.
Yes,
But,
send me some
for the
links.
show notes.
Um,
Yes,
you
but
can,
you and I are on Threads, so
yeah, you can find me on Threads. You can find me on Blueski. I have a Linktree page. You know,
Mhm.
I'm getting slightly better at being on social media again after a long time of trying to not be on it.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Your iPhone might help you with that. So,
Oh, I've heard that the iPhone is good at social media. It's so good at it. It doesn't make you regret life at all.
nope. Did you know? Did you hear that Tim Cook asks themselves every day if they
Yeah.
should pull ads from Twitter? Did you hear
Every
this?
day.
Every day. He asks himself every day, should I do it?
Not today, Satan. Not today.
Not today.
Have a good one. And I will talk to you in a little while when I have some. When I've replaced every single thing in my life with an iPhone.
All right. I'm so excited for you. Enjoy.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.